Also wir haben noch ein paar Minuten Zeit. Theoretisch könnte man natürlich jetzt früher anfangen, aber einige Leute kommen auch manchmal direkt zu Vorträgen und deswegen wollen wir schon auch in der Zeit bleiben. Ja, also Open Tech Summit, gibt es da im Moment Fragen, wie das funktioniert, was hier noch passiert auf dem Open Tech Summit und so weiter? Heute Nachmittag ist ja das Programm. Kommt ihr damit gut zurecht? Mit dem Programm, ja? Habt ihr das auf der Website gesehen? Ja? Und die Website kann man benutzen. Ist benutzbar, ja? Ja?
Also mich nur ein bisschen gewundert, ich habe gestern nachgeguckt, um mir so ein bisschen klar zu machen, wo ich hin möchte.
Ja?
Und von gestern zu heute hat sich dann noch einiges verändert gehabt im zeitlichen Ablauf.
Ja.
Heute früh nochmal geguckt, habe ich so, okay, das ist doch jetzt eher okay.
Ja. Ja, ja. Also das ist ja schon mal ein wichtiges Feedback. Ne? Es ist ja so, dass wir immer ein Content-Team sind und dann meldet sich ein Speaker und sagt, Mensch, ich komme ja aus Hamburg, kann ich ein bisschen später oder dies und jenes. Das weiß man ja manchmal auch gar nicht jetzt so. Wir sind ein bisschen besser als die Republika, wir sind natürlich viel kleiner. Die Republika ändert jetzt dann meistens noch was vormittags, was dann nachmittags anders ist. Ja? Aber das ist so die heutige Zeit, wo jeder sagt, kannst du doch schnell mal ändern. Ja? Tut mir natürlich leid, aber gute Nachricht ist, wir haben nämlich die Website komplett Open Source gemacht, auch natürlich Open Source Design, ja, was natürlich noch verbessert werden muss. Ja. Ja, Elio hat schon Feedback gegeben, einiges. Und wir sind froh, dass es eben besser geworden ist. Also das war ein Feedback der letzten Jahre, dass die Leute gesagt haben, Mensch, ja, das ist hier eine Open Tech Konferenz und ihr setzt die Eventbrite ein. Wir hatten jetzt zum Beispiel jetzt gar nicht so richtig eine Alternative und haben dann gesagt, gut, jetzt machen wir unsere eigene Lösung, was jetzt auch Zeit in Anspruch nimmt. Aber wir sind jetzt schon so weit gekommen, dass wir das Ticketing gelöst haben. Das heißt also, ihr habt alle irgendwie ein Ticket bekommen. Ja? Die E-Mail, die rausging, natürlich, also inhaltlich kann auch noch schöner aussehen, kann noch besser aussehen, die Links können noch besser aussehen, aber das System an sich funktioniert schon mal. Und das ist gut, dass du jetzt nicht gleich irgendwie aufgestanden bist und gesagt hast, Mensch, ja, das wäre ja das Schlimmste. Ja? Und ja, also wenn ihr da Interesse habt, wenn ihr vielleicht selbst Veranstaltungen macht, könnt ihr gerne zu mir kommen. Wir arbeiten auch daran, dass man da automatisch eine Android-App generieren kann. Die Web-App haben wir schon, zum Beispiel die Website, die ihr seht, ist komplett statisch. Das heißt, da braucht man jetzt auch keinen großen Server, könnte man zum Beispiel jetzt auf GitHub Pages hosten, falls es hier Entwickler gibt, die das kennen. Also brauchst du nicht direkt selbst irgendwie im Internet was aufsetzen. Ja. Jetzt EventYay an sich ist ein Open Source Ticketing- und Scheduling-System, also wo man das Programm bauen kann. Falls jemand also Interesse hat, könnt ihr gerne zu mir kommen. Elio, ich denke, das war gut, jetzt um ein paar Minuten zu füllen, ja, und auch danke für das Feedback hier, ja. Wenn jemand noch anderes Feedback hat, bitte kommt zu mir. Wir entwickeln also das Ticketsystem auch komplett Open Source und freuen uns da immer auch irgendwie, wenn jemand sagt, Mensch, hier und da muss noch was gemacht werden, oder auch wenn jemand sagt, es ist gut und wir sind auf dem richtigen Weg. In diesem Sinne, vielen Dank auch übrigens für deinen Beitrag zum Ticketing-System. Ihr habt es vor kurzem eingesetzt bei Oskar.
Du hast vergessen, dass ich ja auch Mentor bei euch bin, wegen UX.
Ja, das habe ich noch nicht vergessen, sondern ich wollte es gerade sagen. Aber das ist gut. Also Elio ist natürlich auch unterstützend. Das heißt, wir arbeiten hier gern auch alle zusammen über Grenzen hinweg. Von Indien nach Albanien bis nach Deutschland. Also wir haben ein sehr internationales Entwicklerteam. Und wir hoffen eben auch, durch euch jetzt auch mehr ein Augenmerk auf das Design zu richten. Und ja, dann schauen wir mal, wie es läuft. Und du redest jetzt über Rebranding Open Source Mozilla. Ja?
Genau.
Und bist jetzt bei Mozilla auch angestellt mittlerweile. Ja. Und das freut uns natürlich sehr. Also, Elio, herzlich willkommen hier, reingeflogen aus Albanien, direkt nach Potsdam. Herzlich willkommen hier beim Open Tech Summit.
Danke euch. So, wie der Jan werde ich auch jetzt mal auf Englisch reden, also hoffe, ihr habt kein Problem damit, aber ihr könnt dann auch immer die Fragen auch auf Deutsch stellen, die kann ich dann auch beantworten. So, yeah, if you have like seen in the last months, like last year, like there was a huge talk about the new Mozilla rebrand. So this is what I'm going to talk today. Like a few months before I gave a similar talk at FOSDEM, but it was really fresh, like out of the oven, and nothing was like solid. But today we have something more to talk about, and we have like some more examples to show you, and probably even some examples of how the German-speaking community regarding Mozilla will look like in the next year. So a few words about me. I'm Elio. I just started as a part-time designer at Mozilla, but I used to contribute like in the last 4 years as a volunteer, and also I'm a tech speaker right now, where Mozilla likes to show me around different places and talk to you guys about all this stuff. I'm a founder of Ura Design. Ura means bridge in Albania. And it's a little agency which I started up after contributing to open source design, and where I saw the potential that there's a lot of requests for companies which work with open source to have better design in UX and branding, but they don't want to go really to agencies which don't understand open source. And I'm also a board member at Open Labs Hackerspace, which is the local hackerspace in Tirana in Albania. And I used to be also a community manager at SitePoint, but I also still write a few articles on SitePoint, mostly a bit not technical, but also mostly about design. So like Jan said, I'm one of the contributors of open source design, which like really motivated me to like follow this through, because like when I started with open source, I used to do like a lot of design, and then I had these two passions coming together, and I didn't understand, hey, maybe I don't want to be a jack of all trades, I don't want to do design and open source, like I should focus somewhere. But I never understood like this both could go together. So like when I met some folks exactly at Open Tech Summit like 2 years ago, so like I really owe a lot of stuff to Open Tech Summit, where I met Brennan and Jan, and they showed me, hey man, we have open source design, why don't you join? And I thought like, how could I miss this? And the rest was history, and we started working together on different projects, helping different projects with design. So which brought me also to opening up my own agency, where we have different clients and different supporters on Patreon. For example, if there's an open source project without a budget, we try to have the community help us to chime in with some support, so we can work on exactly this open source projects which don't necessarily have the resources for good professional design. So something which I really find important in design is working in the open. So a part of working with open and free software like Scribus, Inkscape, and GIMP, I think one of the most important elements is working with Creative Commons. It's like, instead of copywriting all your own work, I think it's a very egoistic approach to do as a designer in open source. We should like try to let go of some of our rights to our own work and like let other people benefit from it. And like this can be easily done with Creative Commons licenses, especially with attribution licenses or other non-restricted licenses. So this is also one of the bases we try to work in open source design, Mozilla, and also at my own agency at Ura. So what I'm going to talk to you about, start this talk off, is about Mozilla Open Design, which is basically a small open source design community within Mozilla. So we try to take the approach of open source design within Mozilla, because there were so many requests going on, and they were most targeted towards me. So I was getting a lot of emails. Hey, Elio, can you do this logo for me? Hey, man, can you do this for me? And these were all personal emails which were not in the open and targeted towards me, and no one was like, knew anything about this happening. So at one point I said, okay, I can do this like alone, and this shouldn't be like this. Mozilla is an open source project, we should work in the open, right? So I kicked this off with the support of many other contributors in 2015, end of 2015. And we tried to create a GitHub repo where every contributor and staff could request design for their own projects at Mozilla, and like volunteer contributors could help making this happening, but only if they would share the source files in the repo as well. So we had a first call. It was really great. We had like so many staff members, and it was the really first time like staff designers with volunteer designers were communicating together. And it has been really a great experience because like it was so fragmented before that. And we having requests coming in like every other day. And like there are quite a few designers who like try to chime in and make this happening. All resources are licensed under Creative Commons Attribution Share Alike license. So even if you are not in Mozilla, you can use the resources there or other projects as long as you respect the license. So this was going on pretty well. As an example, you have a request here. Like a Mozillian from India needed a sticker, so he said, hey, we need this. He gave some information about the request, about the style, and about the deadline when he needed it by. So it was a really interesting approach because it was not only one designer doing this thing, but it was like 2-3 designers chiming in the GitHub issue. So this particular sticker was about a building in India, which where the meetup would happen. And so a designer started with his illustration of that particular building. And then we chimed in with feedback, and this was the result afterwards. And these stickers were printed afterwards. And this was one of the best examples of collaborative design. It wasn't a big thing, but it was really smooth and no shitstorm going on. So apart the repo, we also had Mozilla Open Design as a rebranding within Mozilla. So last year, like exactly a year ago, we decided that Mozilla needs to have a new brand because like our current logo is 16 years old, and we have to have a new face to the audience because like our competitors like Chrome and other browsers even are changing faces constantly while we were like trying to catch up. So we were doing an analysis of our brand, and we saw that maybe having our name wasn't enough. So we maybe needed an icon and maybe needed some other assets. So having Mozilla on everything wouldn't make sense, of course. So in London in June last year, we did something very interesting, which I would love to do again with some other project, or I would invite you to try out yourself. We were doing a gallery where we showed people what's most important to them for Mozilla. So how do they see Mozilla? Do they see Mozilla as the protector, the one who fights for good, the one which makes change? And people would put post-its on all posters. And afterwards, we would like get this feedback and have a sense of what people actually think of Mozilla. So this was a very open, even crowdsourced approach, which we used afterwards to have a few directions on our brand. We had our blog, Open Design blog, where people could chime in. And we had this agency, Johnson Banks, which would do the new directions of the Mozilla brand. So we started off with 7 directions. These were the first 7 directions, which came in July last year. And it was a very rough approach. It wouldn't be final. So we had like a lot of feedback going on and some nasty comments even. Like for example, the first one was about looked like Sauron from Lord of the Ring, so we scrapped that. We chose the open button that reminded people more of an elevator, so we scrapped that as well. So we had a lot of feedback going on in this round, but like people preferred the protocol more because it was like a bit of a geeky element, but it was still very approachable with the HTTP protocol. So this was the direction we chose afterwards. It was a quite flexible one, and it felt very new, but also a bit retrospective because you would like look back 20 years ago with when the web was emerging. And this was the final result after a lot of processes with the community and like doing some new versions of the logo. We are using the icon right now, just the M icon. We used to have the M with a protocol, but it would show mil, so that wouldn't make sense. People would read it as meal. And we are trying to use only black and white here because it would remind people that you could just highlight the logo. You know, when you go to a website and you highlight a part of text, that was the idea of the web. You could copy, you could do like a lot of things with a website you are on. So this was also the idea why we are having this in a box, because it would be highlighted. It would be the language of the web, which Mozilla would represent. We are also having some neon colors. It's very bright. It's very non-conformist to the eye, I would say. And we are also having a new typography. It's called Zilla. Surprise, surprise. It's our new font. It's based on Arvo, which is also an open source font. And Zilla is also open source right now, licensed under an open type font license. And it's a slab family font. So you can use it in your own projects. And it comes also with a highlighted version. So instead of, like with the Mozilla word mark, you could just type in Zilla Mozilla and it would show you the Mozilla logo right away. So you don't even need to have the logo. You can just type it in your font. So this makes it very easy for non-designers to actually design something. So instead of sending you the Mozilla logo, designers can just write it in the font and the Mozilla logo would show up. So this was very approachable to all people, I would say. So we can get Mozilla Slab right now on GitHub. It will be soon out on Google Fonts as well. It's under review process, so a little bit more patience on that. And there was a lot of image influences. It would be like some crazy and very bold ideas of what represents the web. As you can see, the grumpy cat, and images like that. We would use to inspire the new Mozilla branding because like the web is so diverse, it's so chaotic sometimes, but it's like also beautiful, all this chaotic stuff which is happening on the web, which we would like to represent on the Mozilla brand. So using Zilla, we would like also create our own logo project logos. For example, Mozilla Developer Network, this would be the kind of mock-up we would use for having logos in our projects. As you can see, we have used Zilla here, but highlighted. So you don't even need to include a black box or whatever. You can just use Zilla. You don't need to have any graphic design software. You can put it in LibreOffice Writer or whatever as well. You also have like, if you're having a project which is like not by Mozilla but supported by Mozilla, for example like Servo, the new web rendering engine, we like to say Servo Mozilla, not Servo by Mozilla, but not putting Mozilla in the front, but more like a supporter of that exact technology. So coming to this, Mozilla has asked me if I would like to work at Mozilla on helping communities get in touch with a new branding, because like we have like over 100 local communities and they've been using like the old Mozilla branding, and it would be a huge effort to rebrand also on local communities. And also we didn't want to tell them, hey, you're going to use this logo now like we want it, because that would make sense as an open community, of course. So I was hired to work with communities, which I basically have been doing in my free time in the past 2 years anyway. So right now we are talking with a few local communities on how they imagine their community to look like at Mozilla. So obviously I was biased. I started with Albania, and this would be something which would represent Albania. And the biggest discussion, of course, was about the icon. And to be honest, like with Mozilla Germany, we also had a few problems because like what does Germany represent? If I put a bear or if I put the Brandenburg Gate, all people not from Berlin would be offended by that. So it was a huge discussion, and that's why I didn't put this in my presentation, so I wouldn't fight with you guys. So I did Albania, and one of the interesting things we did here is that we will use 4 to 5 icons for every logo, and we would have an animated logo for every local community, which would switch the icons, and it would be quite funny. You could like put some funny elements and like really twist it up a bit. So it's one of the few projects where I've seen like a living logo where you could have a GIF instead of a static logo to represent the project. Same also with Brazil. This is also just work in progress. It's nothing final. So please don't tell your Brazilian friends this is the logo. It's just an example. So this has been my work mostly doing rebranding. I'll be also in touch with the German community, which is one of my priorities right now in the coming month. And I hope to have a few examples solidified and finished by June even, I think. And afterwards, when we have some use cases where the local communities are happy because we want to work with them, not do stuff on the way we like to, we'll expand all this design language to all communities across the globe so everyone can do it on their own. So please, if you want to get involved, you can check out the designlanguage.mozilla.org website where you can find all resources about the new Mozilla resources. And if you like to have some new resources of what we have done already in the past, or want to contribute or want to request something Mozilla related, you can go to github.com/Mozilla Open Design, where it's pretty active nowadays. Like there's some stuff coming on every day, and I'll be meeting you there as well if you want to contribute. So thank you very much. That's all by me, and please, for any question, reach out to me. I'll be here, I'll be outside, and I'll be also having a workshop about contributing to GitHub as a designer in various projects with the examples of open source design and also Mozilla Open Design. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Any questions at this point of time? Please come. Yeah, please. There's a microphone. Yeah. Thank you.
The Mozilla quellcode is also online available, or on GitHub?
Welcher Quellcode?
Von Mozilla.
Firefox meinst du?
Ja.
Yep.
Ah, okay.
Yep. Der ist auf GitHub, aber auch auf unseren Repos. Aber GitHub ist, glaube ich, eine Mirror davon. Also ja.
Okay, und Mozilla, das ist jetzt auch der Webbrowser.
Mozilla Firefox.
Genau.
Okay.
Und das ist jetzt der...
Das ist das Logo und das Branding vom ganzen Projekt.
Ah, okay.
Von der Mozilla Foundation, von der Corporation, welches ja Firefox produziert. Firefox ist dann eine andere Sache, also ist das Kind von Mozilla in diesem Sinne.
Okay, danke.
Ja, danke.
Also es gibt auch noch andere Projekte.
Genau.
Bei Mozilla natürlich ganz viele Projekte. Was ist da aktuell zum Beispiel so?
Gerade haben wir, glaube ich, noch Maker-Partys, wo man über die Copyright-Reform in der EU redet. Das ist, glaube ich, ziemlich interessant auch für Deutschland gerade. Und gerade auch frisch aus dem Ofen ist ja auch die News von Thunderbird, wo die Mozilla Foundation das jetzt adoptiert hat und jetzt auch wieder Neuigkeiten von Thunderbird auch in den nächsten Monaten dann geben wird. Und das finde ich ja jetzt auch spannend. Und Webmaker Thimble finde ich auch ganz, ganz schön. Das ist so ein Code-Editor für Kids und Anfänger, wo man HTML und CSS dann lernen kann. Und ja, vieles andere dann auch mehr.
Also es gibt viele Projekte, aber die sind eben alle mit dem Web verbunden und sozusagen Mozilla steht für das Open Web, sagst du mir ja immer. Das ist wahrscheinlich so der Überbau. Aber es gab hier noch eine weitere Frage.
I was just asking about the call for contributions and how people can get involved. Can you give us a general kind of overview of what kind of tasks there are for people to do, or what kind of skills you're looking for, or where you might need more help?
Right. So we are pretty open to all kind of contributions, which are design related in the broader sense, but mostly like people have been asking for swag design, like I need a sticker, I need a poster, I need a t-shirt design, I need a website design. So if you are a graphic designer, that's probably something which people are in most need of. UX designers are also quite helpful because like there's always some website thing going on. But also interaction design, accessibility, and even software design is something which we require sometimes. There was some case where we were in need of a developer, even like a Python developer or a Node.js developer, because we were doing this business card generator where we did the design for Mozillians to have their own business card. But we needed, of course, to implement that with an API so they can just link to the profile and it would print out the business cards. So this was a case where we needed a developer. So everyone is welcome. I know this sounds very cheesy, but yeah.
Okay. Was there one more question? Yeah? Okay, go ahead.
If we have time.
Yes, we do.
I think the most interesting aspect in this process would be to get an idea of what is the creative moment from the strange proposals with the elevator icon up to this really awesome brand. And I guess you cannot give insights in this moment, but I would have a better question. What do you do if the background switches and is inverted? Would you invert the logo as well, make it white and black? So have you thought?
Yeah, that's a good question. We actually also have a white logo. So for example, if you have a black t-shirt, you get the white box and transparent word mark. We try to use the black word mark wherever we can, but obviously sometimes you can't. So we use the white boxed logo in that case. Regarding your first part of your question, you can check out the Open Design blog at Mozilla. It's blog.mozilla/opendesign. And you can find all the blog posts we have done in the process, starting from, I think, May or something, May 2016, about the whole different processes. So if you are interested to see all the steps we took with the community, and you can just check this out. And it's very insightful if you are interested in that.
Okay, thank you very much. You will give a workshop in the seminar room afterwards, so we can join you there and learn a bit of hands-on, because you talk a lot about doing this and that, but here at the Open Tech Summit we're mainly about let's do things, like doing things, and yeah, so chance afterwards in the open source design track. Thank you very much, Elio, Qoshi.
Thank you.